Living green or sustainably is about more than saving on your electric bill and doing your part to protect natural resources. It is about a safer and healthier life for you and your family without sacrificing style, quality, or budget. This is a movement to provide all of us with clean air to breathe and water to drink, safe, healthy food to eat and places to live, and energy to run the places where we live, learn, play, and work. The Everyday Green Home Podcast helps you get the value of green for you, your family, and your community. Whether it's green homes, green living, or the people who make it happen, join me, Marla Esser Close, to learn how green and sustainability practices and products work for you and our world. Your home is your refuge. It's the place where life happens. You know, the little stuff that happens every day, where you wake up and smell the coffee, where you read your kiddo a bedtime story, scratch your dog's tummy, and all the other little actions that make our houses home. But our homes have a secret life. With all the complexity of our modern life, we unknowingly may be living in, building, or remodeling a home that is not in our best interest. It may be something big like old lead paint or mold, or new paint and cabinets that off-gas. Not good. But chances are it's the small stuff. The leaky toilet, the drafty window, or the products you use to clean and sanitize. Having a green or greener home does not have to be hard or require sacrifice. A green home is not all or nothing. It starts with making smart choices about products and materials as you live in, build, or remodel your home. Just making a different choice in an appliance or plumbing or lighting fixture or even paint can set you on the course to a home which works better for you and yours. With the help of my book, Living Green Effortlessly, Simple Choices for a Better Home, we will cover the basics of the systems and features of your home and how to make the best of them. Join me to get started on your better home. Hello there, it's Marla, the Green Home Coach, back for Chapter 6. And if you're just catching up, we are going through my book, chapter by chapter, Living Green Effortlessly, Simple Choices for a Better Home. And in the Facebook group, in the unit, there is a link giving you more information about the book, should you want to go to your library to get it, to follow along, or even to buy your own copy. But there's a lot more information in the book than we're able to cover here in these sessions and these recorded sessions. So I hope that you will find some helpful information in here to help you make simple choices for your better home. Because that's really what this is all about. This whole thing about green, sustainability, eco-friendly, high performance, lots of words, really boils down to a better home for you to live in with your family, your friends, and whomever else lives in that home with you, including our furry friends. You might see mine come popping in here while we're recording. But that's really the key, is how do you take advantage and learn how to take that power of living healthier and more comfortable in your home. So that's what we're learning here in this book. And I'm really honored to be able to share this with you. So Chapter 6 today, maintain and document so you can rely on your home. Okay, what does that really mean? So I want to suggest something to you. Do you sometimes just really think about, oh my gosh, I've got so many more things to do around the house, and there's just this long honey-do list and all these things that you have to do to serve your home? Well, what we really want, at least everybody I've talked to, and myself included, we want a home that serves us, a home that works for us, a home that supports us, a home that helps to make our lives easier and better. So that's a lot of the premise behind green and greener homes. I use that in air quotes, because the things that you do to help your health and the health of your home, your community, and your world also tend to make that home last longer, as well as the systems in it. They make it easier to maintain. And that's where it really gets important. That's where we are today, is maintain. And for you guys that have followed me for a while, you might know that this is really pretty much where I got my start when I went out on my own, was having information to help people understand the components and the systems in their homes and how to get information about how to take care of them, how to repair them, replace them, get information about them, and then use that information to live better in your home. And it all starts with user manuals. User manuals, who needs them? You do. I do. We all do. The average home in the US has a minimum of 75 systems and components that are relied on daily. And I know this from my work with working with the home inventories and the maintenance components for green homes that were being certified. Each of those systems and components has a manual. Sometimes they have several manuals. So when you get a manual for anything new that you're bringing into your home, I highly suggest you write down on that manual the serial number of the item, the purchase date, the purchase price, and the place you purchased it. And then file that manual where it is easily accessible so you can rely on it and you can use it when something is needed about that particular item or component. If you don't have the manual, you can search the internet and find a lot of them. But I will tell you, there's so many thousands and thousands, probably millions of things for our homes and that we use in our homes. Sometimes that's quite a search. When you find it, please bookmark it, file it, something, so you can have access to it easily going forward. There's even special sites for old manuals. Just try searching old user manuals on the internet and you will find several sites to help you there. So why does a user manual matter? Usually because it tells you how to maintain that item, take care of it, how to clean it, as well as any repair information that may be available. And oftentimes the warranty information is there as well. And hopefully a phone number to connect with the company that makes the product or a website or email. So it is really a one-stop shop for the information that you're going to need to work with that particular item in your home. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have some kind of valet or concierge maintenance company, they will help you with this. And that can be a great asset. I've got a friend that's got that type of a company out in California, and I've learned so much from him about different ways to look at maintenance in your home, et cetera. And the user manuals are really kind of where it all starts. So good stuff to have. So you need to have a running list, if you will, preferably written down or computer written down, what needs routine inspection and or maintenance, and having some sort of a systemic way to go through this on a regular basis as part of your household things to do is really a great idea. So just some simple ideas just to get you started. Your heating and cooling system. You guys, I hope you've heard this a million times, but I hope it sticks and I hope you're doing it. Change the filter regularly. See what your manufacturer recommends and do it. This is the one thing that you can do to impact the maintenance and the efficiency of how your heating and cooling unit runs. So just changing that filter is going to make the unit run better, and much better, it's going to make your air better so that you breathe better. So that's a win-win-win. So that's a big one. Also for heating and cooling, you want to regularly check your outdoor unit to make sure that there's not a bunch of stuff around it, and get your units serviced on a regular basis. A lot of heating and cooling companies now offer a maintenance plan for a set amount yearly, and then you get usually 2 appointments where they'll come in and service your units. And then they typically, the ones that I've seen, have a discount should you need any parts or any further servicing. So that's a great one. If you just want to get on a regular plan and you know it's going to happen, that's a great way to do it. You want to also routinely inspect and check for maintenance items needed on your external home systems. These are the systems that protect our homes and us from the outside elements, from the water, from the wind, etc. So you want to check your roof just from down here. But, with our smartphone cameras, we can zoom in and see the details up on much of the roof now. So you want to check for that, especially if you live in an area that's prone to hail or wind damage. Like here in Oklahoma, we get a lot of both of those. So we're always trying to keep an eye on our roofs. You want to check your gutters and your downspouts and make sure everything is working right. Once a year, you should do a more thorough walk around and see, like check outside of your windows and your doors to check the weather stripping and see if there's any caulking that needs to be replaced, etc. So I'm going to give you guys some resources where we can get some more detailed information for these kind of checklists. You also want to check things like your garage door systems, just to make sure that everything is working. It always seems like the darn garage door quits working right in the middle of needing to be someplace in a hurry. But both your opener and the remotes that go with it also can be regularly checked. So, sometimes we're like, I don't want to take care of all this stuff. But please remember, one of the very greenest, sustainable, meaning long-lasting and serving you, things that we can do is make things continue to last and to work. But in order to do that, we do need some basic maintenance. And in order to do basic maintenance, you need to keep an eye on things, hence the inspection. So it's not a big deal. My husband and I go out on the nice weekends and walk around the house together for 10 or 15 minutes. And it's great to walk with him because he sees things differently than I do. So we catch different things. We walk through our yard and just kind of check on things and touch base. And that's just a really great thing to do in your home and outside your home. So speaking of outside, one thing that I think is such a great idea, and this came from a friend of mine that's in the home maintenance business, but she suggested do the winter maintenance while it's still warm. And I'm like, duh. That's such a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? But this makes so much sense. It just planning to do it like in the fall while it's still nice and still warm. This is the time to look at your doors and your windows and replace any weather stripping or caulking or repair any windows or doors and take, maybe just a half day to just get those things done. If you have a fireplace, get it inspected and cleaned before the cold weather sets in, because that's when they get busy. This is a great time to check your roof as well, as we had talked about. And this one was one I hadn't really thought of because it was kind of like but I've run into the same issue. So make space to store your outdoor items like your patio furniture and your garden supplies and your hose. Because I know so many times during the summer, all of our stuff gets rearranged and we've kind of, crept into the spaces where those things are normally stored. So taking the time while it's nice outside to rearrange and make sure you have room for all that to get stored out of the elements will help those items to last longer and perform for you as well. So as you have maybe started to pick up on, seasonal maintenance is really appropriate and it spreads it out. So there's different things that you can check on at different times of the year. So I actually co-wrote part of this chapter with my friend, Tina Gleisner, who has a company called Home Tips for Women. And she had a handywoman business for several years. And really has so much to share and so many great ideas. So I just wanted to read you a little bit from our chapter to give you some of her wisdom and some of her insight. So thank you, Tina. We've organized home maintenance into 4 seasonal checklists. At the beginning of the heating cooling season, it's important to inspect and improve your home's envelope. So the money you spend heating or cooling isn't wasted, like going outside. After heavy storms, inspecting your home and making timely repairs will avoid higher repair bills down the road if hidden moisture is eating away at your home's infrastructure. Side note from me. During one of the recent hurricanes down on the Gulf Coast, there wasn't a lot of evident damage to many of the structures. There was some, but not tons. But a few weeks later, they started finding a lot of mold and mildew. And it had been from this hidden moisture, the water that had been driven in by the driven rain and the wind and had gotten into all the little nooks and crannies and cracks in the walls and the roofs and under the eaves. And it caused major damage down there. And mold and mildew is not something you want to deal with. Not fun. So a side note. Okay, fall home maintenance. focuses on buttoning up your home for the winter and keeping you dry, warm, and comfortable. Winter home maintenance goes indoors to find and repair the minor annoying things that we try to ignore the rest of the year. Spring home maintenance gets you outdoors to find and repair storm damage and to prepare your yard for your growing season. And then summer home maintenance looks at outdoor safety, living spaces, and landscaping projects from fences to bird feeders. So home maintenance priorities. In every chore for every season, these are your priorities. The safety of those inside your home, water damage inside and outside your home, energy efficiency to save money and reduce impact on the environment. Tips for using these checklists. Most of us don't do our own car repairs, and we don't expect homeowners to do all the home maintenance either. Pick the items on the list that you want to do yourself. And for those that you don't like or lack the skills, tools, or time, find reliable home professionals that you can call on. If you don't have any experience with home maintenance, find an experienced homeowner or home professional to inspect your home with you 1 or 2 times until you get comfortable with what to look for. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on this too. Doing an inspection is important because how else are you going to identify what needs to be done? Maintaining a home is actually a 3-part ongoing process. Inspect, maintain, and update. To help you keep track of what you've done and plan to do, make notes on the checklists. Inspect. If you've only got an hour to spare, pick one exterior side of the house or one room inside to inspect. Note the date you did this on the checklist and flag items needing maintenance or repairs so you can schedule time or make a list for your handyman or woman. Maintain. Keep your home safe. Smoke detector batteries, energy efficient with furnace air filters, and prolong the useful life of many home features, such as caulking bathroom tile. Write it down when you complete a task. Keeps you from guessing later on. Update. Take advantage of improved materials and fixtures. Upgrade to new building codes and evaluate when it makes sense to make an improvement rather than a repair, such as replacing a bathroom floor rather than repairing the grout. When I first met Tina and she brought up this whole idea of this 3-part system for home maintenance, the inspect, maintain, update, I really fell in love with this because it made so much sense to break it up into smaller pieces. If there was just one nugget of wisdom that I learned from Tina, this is it. And this system has helped us. I'm kind of the cobbler's child. I want to get better at writing down what we do. I do note it on my calendar, which has been helpful, but you got to find a system that works for you and then do it. Maybe it's just a home notebook to just write down things that you're doing and then keep it in your files with your home stuff. So if you would like to see the complete checklists, they're in the book. You can also tag me or send me an email or a comment, and I will send a link to you to get the maintenance checklist. So we want to share this information with you. So get in touch and we will do that. So why do we really stress writing it down and keeping records? Well, this is saving you grief and bother and hassle and all that down the road. So one other thing to think about that I wanted to share from the book, because I'd already said it once. No sense thinking again what I've said, right? Your life is simpler when you keep records on your house and what you do to it. There are many ways to keep records, from a 3-ring binder to an online file, whatever works best for you. If you'd like to try, there's some online systems, including mine at homenav.com, that can help you keep track of the maintenance checklist and other paperwork associated with your home systems. You can store, organize, and access the information when you need it. The best part is that you can get connection to manufacturers, industry experts, and the advice from them when you're on an online system. So there's lots of ways to help you do this. Just remember, too, that having this home documentation helps when you go to sell your house as well, because you now have a record of what you've done. You have a list of the components and their specifications, and that is so hard to get, especially in existing homes. I mean, a newly built home, you're usually helping to create it. But we bought a spec home, and we didn't get a lot of that information since we did not help in the selection. So having that information is super helpful. The last thing I wanted to share with you is a home disaster recovery plan. And this is different from a home disaster preparedness plan. What this one is all about is how do you get things back on track, rebuild your home and your life after a potential disaster. First of all, if there's a disaster, your very first priority is safety. Safety, safety, safety. One, and things are as safe as can be. Then it's time to focus on your second priority, recovery. So having this home recovery plan before you need it can help you get things back on track sooner and helps you to focus on rebuilding and reconstructing your home as well as your life. So what should you have in your home disaster recovery plan? Important documents, emergency and family contacts, home inventory and personal property inventory, and other items of information that are going to help you put the picture back together with that information. There's all kinds of online tools and apps available. There's also a lot of advice and suggestions from the Federal Emergency Management Agency at FEMA.gov. So FEMA.gov. So all of this talk about maintaining and updating your home is such an important part of making our homes last, having our homes serve us, and having a really better experience in your home. So I hope you found a couple of useful tips today. And we have one more chapter to go. I can't believe that we're almost to the end. Our next session will be Chapter 7, which is building or renovating to achieve a certified green home. So this is a very specific topic, but it might give you some great ideas on your next remodel, renovation, or hopefully even a new home. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you for Chapter 7. Have a great green day. That wraps this episode of the Everyday Green Home Podcast. Get the show notes with all the resources mentioned in this episode, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Ready to get started? Get more information, how-tos, and resources in my private Facebook group, Love Your Everyday Green Home. See you there. And remember that living a little better and a little greener is easier than you think.